It is I, the innovator of intensity, your main man Underwood, and before I give you your role-playing game spiritual guidance to succor your soul upon, let me preach the good word and give some new people in the RPG community some plugs. I know, man, it's got to be hard to get a channel going. It was hard when I started getting a channel going, and back then, there were a lot less RPG channels. We're coming up, whoa, damn near on 1 year, and soon enough, we'll be doing that big countdown. I think I'm going to sacrifice Alikov alive or something like that, but it'll be entertaining and opulent. I guarantee you that. Free punch all around. But before we sacrifice Alikov live here on the channel, let's talk about these people. ModernDnD, Worldoflos. I don't know. There's no T there. I'm going to try to remember. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. Maybe 8 of you will be like, hey, put those in the comment box. I'm like, yeah, let me get on that. And forget again. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it doesn't. I definitely recommend both of you to comment on the video so that people can more easily find your channels. So check their channels out and do at least give them a look. Subscriptions are always appreciated. Comments on videos are always appreciated by all of us who put those out here. But it is hard for someone getting in here with all the channels out there to try to rub some subscribers together, to try to get a base of people watching their videos, commenting, giving them that sort of energy they need to continue pushing forward. And, of course, you know, be nice, particularly when people are putting their first videos out. Don't be a dick to them. It's just absolutely not cool. Absolutely not cool. People get a lot better doing videos. If you watch my first video and say, oh, horrible, compared to whatever this mindless gibberish that I force upon all of you each and every time is, you know, if this is perhaps somehow subjectively better to some small degree. Now that I've talked for almost 2 minutes, let's wait. All right, 2 minutes. Now that I've talked for 2 minutes about absolutely nothing, let me talk about what I'm going to talk about in this video, and that is form over function. That's right. Way back, if you're one of the lucky 100 people that watched that video, way back. And I just look at that video now. I look like I was some sort of crackhead extra for The Wire or something. In that video, you know, the camera was not doing your main man any justice service. Now that the HD can reveal how truly handsome I am, you know, I'll probably link the other video up, and I'm sure there's good words in there, but, you know, my camera was off. It was old computer, old camera. Well, the camera wasn't that old, but the computer was, and, you know, this is certainly a much better setup now. So, I'm going to revisit those words, and the reason I'm going to revisit those words is, A, I've been wanting to do that for a while, because low video total means not that many people saw it. It means bears repeating, because there is some good words here, absolutely good words here, and we're going to go over those. Now, it's also a lot of people recently have been asking me, hey, this build or that build. Do not fucking send me questions like that. Well, my response will be each and every time, play the character that will be fun for you. This is 2 ways that you can make characters. This is a character. Put thought into it. Each of the numbers I had a reason for, a background. They weave together a tapestry and they tell a story. This is a list of numbers. Now, what do you want your character to look like? That's absolutely right. You do not want to play just a list of numbers because you know who you're fucking in the end. It's not the other people because you outshowed them because you had this feat and that feat and you pulled a build off the internet and you showed everyone just what a third you are. No. No. What it is, listen up carefully. Are you listening? This is what it is. The person that you fuck in the end is yourself, is your game master, is hell, everybody at the table, because your character doesn't pop. Don't try to get those 2 extra hit points or extra point of attack. Man, try to get that extra point of creativity, of interest, of percolation in your game master's mind. The way you win the game, as the game keeps going, as the game is fun, as people go, damn, that's going to be my #1 draft pick. Nobody wants this shit in their game. Nobody wants this shit in their game. Nobody wants this in their game. They want a character, a unique, interesting personality that is different from before what they have seen. You know, even in a game, if someone was running 3.5 D&D and they said, oh, we're going to use the base books right off the bat. Boom. Half-orc wizard. Now, I don't like to play wizards, so half-orc enchanter, because wizards are just too generic for your main man. So, people go, oh, why would you do that? You're getting fucked with your touch charisma. The reason I would do it is because I don't think there are very many half-orc enchanters that have ever been created by people, and that's right in the base book. I like to go and get more different options to make my character different. Now, I'm not saying don't put any flex in your character. You have to have flex, particularly when you're playing with a new group. Oh, what are we talking about now? Well, we got to walk a fine line here because you need to have some meat on the bone. But it's more important to make it live, to make it pop, to make it work. You know, I'm not telling you go out there and minimize, go out there and play a commoner with a sickle. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying bring a concept, unique. Put your time and energy not in crunching out a 20-level build. You're in first level. Things can get in there to change that up. Don't worry about your feats. Get to that later. Allow the story to tell its tale and build on you. Form over function. The form is the form of your character. What it is in here, make it from here onto here, and all of a sudden we have something a lot cooler than a list of 1 to 17 in order. That's trash. That's trash. In fact, yeah, it's like, oh God, that's like that. It's just like that. And it's gone, and soon to the garbage it goes. But this character sheet, I'm not going to throw that away because it has intrinsic value and intrinsic worth. It is useful. It is a character with quirks and flaws and hobbies and interests and borderline mental conditions. All of these things are in that character, ready to be material to be exported into the game. And when we can export from the sheet into the game, into that live continuum which we create in the collaborative imagination that we share, all of a sudden we have a beautiful thing. These fucking numbers aren't going to produce anything beautiful. Yeah, magic missile, hit you with my longsword, scimitar. I think functionally, weapons like that, longsword and scimitar, I don't even use them. Players in my game know not to use them because I'm just not going to put that over. Like, you're just not going to get a push on that. I absolutely can't stand them. To the point I will not push it. I will not push it. I can't stand those weapons because they're used over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. It's so uninteresting, so uncreative. All of a sudden, you know, you're taking a character and give them a Morning Star, kill me tattoo, or a Warhammer or something like that. Man, all of a sudden you have something new. You have something different. You know, I've walked up in games and I'm sitting there, I'm using a glaive, and people, glaive? What the fuck is that? I never heard of the glaive. It's right here in the book, man. And their eyes go amazed. They understand. I like to use pole arms. I think pole arms are interesting. I think they look cool. And they are cool. They have some interesting different abilities. Also, again, get a little flex in there. There's some different things you can do when you go outside those standard builds and you start making your own interesting stuff. Not a build itself, just a character. When people write me, you know, is this class better than this class for this and that, and should I use this and that? I'm like, dude, those look like the same damn options to me. What possible difference does it make? Or if they're different options, why would you not get into those different options? Why would you not say, wow, you know, if I go this way, I have a completely different character than this way. And if all you told me is, you know, numbers, I'm not a numbers guy, man. I play the game to have fun. Again, I'm not saying you should make a weakling character that doesn't work. There's tons and tons of different ways that you can add flex, but make your concept. Do not sacrifice your concept on the altar of numeric success. If you do that, man, why are you even playing a game, dude? Just go play a video game. Role-playing games aren't like video games. You don't just max out all your stats with a cheat code and then just run through that sumbitch, grab up all the optimal loot, and go, you know, in your little comments to the other players. You stay in character, you play in character, you bring that intensity, that sort of character that you want to play into the game. You know, if you're like, oh, I think, you know, this suit of padded armor is really awesome, well, let me wear that. You know, there's no need to have to play by the numbers. Just because you're a fighter doesn't mean you have to use plate mail. Once you get to high levels, it doesn't. Even if you have a low dexterity. Maybe you have your different reasons. You know, you like the way that looks. You know, you look at the other advantages, like the fact you're not being roasted alive by the tremendous heat and all the sweat and all the filth that is getting into you. You know, you don't really get involved with that. You are playing like a sorcerer type character who perhaps isn't that charismatic. You know, your strengths may well lie elsewhere, and you certainly should always have strengths. Again, I'm not telling you to minimize. I'm not telling you to play a character that's pathetic and groveling and weakly. I'm telling you to make sure that your character is what you have up here. Because the first time you make even one compromise, even one sacrifice to make it those numbers, instead of what's up here, you're whoring yourself, and you're not going to enjoy the game as much. The other players aren't going to enjoy the game as much. The game master isn't going to enjoy the game as much. Your character loses cool factor. Cool factor is of tremendous importance, and even if only you know it, you know it. You do. You know, it's just like taking the dice, rolling a 2. Nobody saw it. Somebody went, oh, it's 17. Oh, but you still know. You know you done the dirt. And so you will pay the price in your own mind. You don't have that purity any longer. And your character, when it has that true creative font in it, when it is what you have up here, recognized with numbers only to have a means of interacting through the dice. Not, oh, well, I know I was going to do this and that, but let me just take power, attack, and cleave. I mean, that probably would optimally be better. And I was going to be a halfling, but let me be a human instead, because I get that bonus feat. And yeah, that just worked better. And oh yeah, I was gonna play a ranger, but let's just be a human fighter. Yeah, this is gonna be better. You know, all of a sudden, and you strip down your own choices under that guideline. You know, take classes, merge them together. That's the greatest thing about D&D 3.5. You know, I'll take this class, I'll take this class, I'll take this class, and this class, and you could just build them together, man. It's like Legos. You know, don't just take the boxed instructions and build that. Say, well, that's what I had to build, because that's what the box instructions say is absolutely the best thing I do with this box. No, man, take them some bitches and just move them, mix the pieces on the men up, create whatever your imagination dictates, and play it through. Enjoy it. Have a good time with that. Don't play a game of numbers. D&D is a creative experience, and when you deduce it to simple math, it's boring and ugly and banal. It's a great game of tremendous fantasy exploration. Man, use your mind and just take off to strange, beautiful vistas never before envisioned, because it is this new psychology, this new persona, these new eyes that you're taking out there to see this new world in a different way. Don't rob yourself of that. Don't rob your game master. Don't rob anybody else you're playing with that. Don't be the guy and people in your group are like, ooh, yeah, maybe we're going to deep six this guy. Or, yeah, oh, man, I'm sorry, we didn't invite you to that game. You know, we was full up. You know, be the number 1 draft pick. Be the number 1 draft pick. And you do that by these very simple steps I'm telling you. And then you're going to be able to up your game in a creature game when you're playing the character you want to play. You know, how interesting is that character that doesn't come off the assembly line? You know, you had to go out there and special order this sumbitch, and it's different. You know, he didn't have standard equipment and standard feats and standard gear, and I've said that twice, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because what does matter is making your character interesting, unique, and the way you want to play them. Remember, you are the person that has to play this character. And when you play him 10 times and you don't even want to play anymore because the character's so damn boring to you, you have fucked yourself. You fucked yourself completely. And why do that to yourself? Why not go with that real idea you have up here? Just remember, the second you make those sacrifices for mechanical perfection, you aren't really playing a role-playing game anymore at all. And at that point,